It's the women's grand final here at Rugby Park, Marrara. It all comes down to this. The Australian Women's Sevens Development Team versus Icons, a academy/development program out of Queensland. As the referee is about to get us underway, it's Icons playing right to left in the maroon jerseys up against the green and gold of the Australian development side. With me for special comments is the great Mark Ella. Mark, what an exciting, mouth-watering prospect this matchup is.
This will be a great game. This is two sides that have really got a lot of skill, got great girls. And the future, I guess, of Australian 7 rugby is looking really, really great. And this will be a spectacular match.
Well, already a good foray down this near touch side by Morrison as they swing it back the other way, down the left side. Nice footwork in the middle by Anderson. Quick recycle. Gee, it's a hot potato at the moment. As they swing it out to the right. Fredericks playing with them. Out onto the touchline, it's Morrison. Gee, she beats a couple of tackles. She's handy for a slight player. Nice recycle, technically very sound in the ruck. They swing it back to the left. It's Anderson looking for a gap up the middle. She claps on the pace, carves them up through the middle, down the middle corridor. Tried to Anderson. Sydney, beg your pardon, Australian Development 5, Icons 0.
Oh, Brooke Anderson, that was magnificent. She took the ball wide, but had to come in. She knew that she had to change an angle, but she just held the ball. I thought the defence would have got to her, but she just meandered her way through. Look at that. That's great running. Good foresight. Knew exactly what she was doing to set up Australia's first try.
She's got a nice sense of balance about her, Brooke Anderson. She's quite a fairly low centre of gravity, and often those kind of players is deceptive about how quick they're actually running.
Well, I think you're right. Deception was probably the right word, because they just laid off her. They didn't know what she was going to do, and she knew one thing. She was going for the try line.
Yeah, poor read by the Icons defence. Maybe the fact that Brooke Anderson had the ball tucked under her right arm might have signalled to the defenders that she wasn't going to pass.
Yep.
Australia to kick off with the restart. Hasn't gone the 10 metres. Bounces around. And that's a short arm penalty restart for Icons.
Okay, this is a perfect opportunity for Icon to strike back. First time they got the ball, middle of the field. Good opportunity. What
would you do? Come one way and then sweep back the other?
I'd probably chip over the top and hope for the best. But no, you've got to actually probably set the play up down the middle and then play for one side. Here we go now. They've got to just quick ball out to the left.
Well, that's a bullocking run by...
but they lost possession.
And pounced on by Australia as they look to probe down that far hand touchline. They bring it back on the open side. Ball out in two hands. The defence, whoa! Big tackle in the midfield from the Icons defender. But Australia regroup. Gee, quick turn of pace there from Demi Hayes. Long striding speedster for the Australian development side. And a yellow card awarded at the death.
Oh, I think there was nothing wrong with that tackle, but obviously the referee ruled it was too high. But Demi Hayes just pegged him back and just did that so easy. It's great when you got players of that ability, big, strong and fast.
Well, she runs with a straight back, Demi Hayes, no doubt about it. But unfortunately, the conversion is unsuccessful. And it's the Australian development side 10, Icons 0. Australia with the restart. Icons need to make sure they score next. Nice take. Now, that was a smother tackle. And it looked the same as the other tackle just a few minutes ago.
I'm not saying anything. Let's get on with the game.
Now, a nice little floater out to the far wing by Australia. Not gathered, but tidied up well.
Icon need the ball. They haven't seen much of this ball in the first, 4.5, 5 minutes of the game. So they just need to make the most of this opportunity now.
Here they go. Here's their chance. Having a look. Dennant with the ball. Offloads. Nice little recycle for Icons. But a penalty awarded to Australia as they come away to the right. Little pass and loop. There's plenty of pace in this Aussie side, but the ball chopped off there by the Icons defender. Nice little spoiler there by Lefai Fakosiliva. Celia. And we'll come back for a scrum. Play just getting a little bit messy in this phase as we get close to half time.
Well, as I think I said before, you know, they've had 2 long days. They're playing against very, very good competition. So what may have looked easier, you know, through the rounds is obviously a little bit more difficult when you've got players of this ability.
Nice quick ball out to the far wing for Australia. Gee, their flyers going for the corner. The cover defence won't get her. Great try from the Australian development side. Morrison, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. It might have been Hayes again. But she can run. No, number 9, you're right. There's Demi Morrison. Gee, she pegged him back. It's always one advantage in sevens. If you've got speeders on the flank, you've got luxury. You know, you need to get the ball out there as much as you can.
Difficult conversion from the sideline. Unsuccessful. Australia development side 15, Icons 0. 30 seconds to go. You know, Mark, I could be wrong, but I reckon this Aussie women's side's got more straight out gas than the Aussie men's side.
Well, it's, like I said before, it's handy when you've got speed, and you'd like to think you'd have at least 2 or 3 guys that can, you know, really run. Both men and women that can run, and others that have got a bit of ability, but you know, they're just dominating Icon at the moment because of their speed.
Icon's kicking the ball away, finding space, but
they're offside.
So as the halftime hooter sounds, Sydney Uni will get an opportunity for a dead ball restart. Oh, sorry, Australia will get an opportunity from dead ball restart. It's the yellow that's throwing me. Let's see what they can do, if they can finish with a flurry after the hooter. Oh, lovely run through the middle there from Fredericks. By crikey, she cut him up like knife through butter.
Yeah, she did, and you know, she did very, very well to be able to score that try just on half time. But yeah, we'll look at the replay. Very poor defence by Icons. You know, virtually just a touch. Yeah, go score a try. You know, the defence should have been a bit better than that.
Well, just looking at the physique of Fredericks, I think she's got a lot of power in them legs.
Yep.
And let's see if we can see more of her and that power in the second half. But at the end of the first half, it's the Australian development side 20, Icons 0. Yeah, in the Women's Cup final, it's Australian Development 20, Icons 0, Icons to receive, playing left to right. Let's see what they can do with their possession now. They spread it wide. The Australian defence drifts. A change of angle from Icons. They recycle. They come out again. Nice little shortened run by their outside attacker there at just over the 22. Icons really probing up the middle, persevering in that central corridor, but it looks like it might have been stolen by Australia, but a counter ruck from Icons, and now they get a penalty, a little tap and go. So they push forward again through that middle corridor. Now some quick ball. Can she get it wide? Oh, tactical kick out to this side. There's open space. Will the ball sit up for her? Oh, hard luck. Nice chase there by Rachel Thea. But, gee, the bounce of the rugby ball just beaten her.
Well, it was a better start. At least they had something positive. They've obviously decided at half-time they're going to play against the Australian development team up the middle, and they did reasonably well. But what they've got to do eventually is let the ball go wide, and that part of the strategy just let them down a little bit.
Sydney Uni winning the line-out off the top. They push it through to the middle corridor to one of their flyers, Anderson. She's playing with them. Got the big fend out. Hard to bring down. Icons struggling to realign on defence. And in fact, they're penalised. Australia with the quick tap. Messy ball. Not back the required distance, Icons defenders. Does Australia get another opportunity? Looks like they will tap on the mark. And they bring it to the left. Straight run, little change of angle, go back towards that short side. Off to their flyer down there, Darcy Morrison. Well, she's just too fast. Australia, another try. Too easy.
Yeah, it was well set up. You're right in what they're saying. She just had too much speed.
Nice little outside swerve there too, little in and away.
No, well, they got all the skills. I mean, these girls, no wonder, women want to play rugby sevens, particularly after the Rio Olympics. But, there's a lot of girls with a lot of skill, a lot of talent, and speed.
Well, for anybody, I can think of some young boys who should be watching this, because that was a classic way to stand the cover defence up and burn them on the outside. Wonderful play from Darcy Morrison. The conversion unsuccessful. It's Australia Development 25, Icons 0. Let's see if Icons can get a try on the board with 3.5 minutes or so to go. They're just struggling to get a little continuity there. The Aussie defence has been a little too suffocating for them, and they haven't really coped.
No, the Aussies have been all over them. I mean, the Australian development team, they're swarming. They're there in numbers. They're fit. They're healthy. And just, they want the ball at all opportunities.
Well, another charge up the middle, just swatting away the defenders like flies as they push it out wide again. And I think this is Chiselka. Nice try from Shanae Chiselka.
Yeah, at this stage, the Australian development side are just going through the motions. They're well in front. They've got space and width whenever they need it. They're getting the ball out there. They're playing some great rugby at the moment, no doubt about it.
And conversion's a little hard to come by here at Rugby Park this afternoon.
I guess if you score enough tries, the conversions don't matter.
Well, that's the best way to win, isn't it?
It certainly is.
So it's Australian Development 30, Icons 0, 2.5 minutes left to play. And it's been just an impressive and emphatic performance from the Australian side. All credit to the players and the coaching staff, as a big run up the middle from Icons. Good quick recycle. Let's see what they can do. Ball out in front, and just a simple knock on. unfortunate error there from Naden.
It is an unfortunate error when it shouldn't have been made. You know, they were drifting across the field instead of running straight. You know, I think she was thinking about what she was going to do with the ball before she got it, rather than just sort of getting in her hands and perhaps taking on the Aussie defence.
Yep. So Australia development, the feed to the scrum. That's Georgie Frederick. She's a handy player. And out they go to their runner. Nice change of angle on the inside to Chiselka again. They bring it back the other way to the left-hand side. Nice way to move around the defence. Good chop off the left foot by Anderson. Deep inside the 22. They come again, Australia. Out to the right-hand side, Chiselka. Little shuffle, holds the ball up. Nice little sweep around from McGregor. She links up with her outside support. The ball flung out the back. Good little swivel there from Fredericks. Keeping the ball alive. And that's a try to Paige McGregor. Aussie development 35, Icons 0.
Yeah, the Australian side, they threw a few passes there. I mean, it was a little bit messy, but they always had players in support. Doesn't matter which way they went before it got to Paige McGregor, who finally scored in the right corner. But they were there in numbers, and they controlled the ball. Icons, unfortunately, haven't put enough pressure on this Australian team to actually make any indication.
Yeah, I feel for McGregor. She got collared around the neck as she went in for that try. We'll see if there's a penalty at the restart, if there's to be consistency by the referees. But it doesn't look like it.
No, I think play on.
So McGregor will take the dropout, restart, chips it into the 10. Oh, the Icons defender got, ball receiver got gobbled up by the Aussie defender. Time is up on the board. Let's see if Icons can score a consolation try. Nice little foray down this near side touchline. That's Moores that with the big carry. They fling it out to the left. Little ill-directed. The referee was playing advantage for a high tackle. Tap and go. Picked up on the half volley. Big charge up the middle by their power player. Good recycle. Out to the left. Little duck on the inside. Weaving and bobbing. Wrestled to the ground by the Australian defence. Good ball. But I think we've seen too much of that. We've seen the acting half. Too much pick and go or run across the field. Quick ball's got to be hot ball. They come again, Icons. Flung back into that middle corridor. Big run up the middle from Naden. She's rounded up by the Australian defence. Desperation stuff from the Icons, really keen to get a consolation try. But they've turned the ball over in that middle corridor. Penalty to Australia. Let's see if they can finish with a try and really put some icing on this cup final cake. Nah. Can't be bothered. Hannah Southwell hoofs it into touch. That'll do me, she says. And why not? It's been a long weekend. Australia development side are the cup champions for the 2017 hottest sevens in the world cup final, winning with an emphatic performance.
ladies and gentlemen, we just witnessed a terrific exhibition of rugby sevens by the Australian development team. A lot of these girls will see on TV a lot over the next 40 years as they go through the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast and then head to the next Olympics in Tokyo. I'd just like to, before we present the medallions to the winning team, just call upon the women's player of the tournament from the Australian side. She was wearing number 4 today, Georgie Fredericks. What a great carnival she's had. And to present the trophy from Tsunami, great merchandise sponsors. We appreciate their help. Thanks very much. And well done. Now we'd like to call upon the captain of the Australian side to receive the Jabiru and a magnificent cheque for $12,000. And I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank the NT government, who made a significant increase in the prize money specifically aimed at the women's division. We're able to allocate now 34% of the total prize pool to the women, and they contribute 33% of the participants. So that's what we call parity. So well done to the NT government, and we're putting money where the growth certainly is. Thank you very much, NT government. I thank the Minister for Sport who is over here with us tonight. So thank you. Now we just get the team to come through and receive the medallions one by one. And again, a big round of applause for the Australian women's